Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. Okay, welcome to my Sunday nuggets. So this Sunday was crazy, like guys. I stood up and shared my testimony. So what had happened is it's more than that. One Sunday at church, our pastor was preaching on. Most of the times he has like a series. Like when he starts something, he makes it into a series. Or anyway. So last week had a guest speaker, but I didn't do the nugget for last week. So the other week when he preached about God who comforts us or something like that. He preached from 2 Corinthians. This week it was 2 Corinthians chapter number 1 verse 8 going down. The other week, not last week, the other week he preached on 2 Corinthians, the same chapter, but the top part of it. Yes, let me put it on that. Anywho, so the story was, the reading was on Paul. He was saying, I should not lie to you guys, or I should not hide to you. When we were in, I've forgotten the town, the name of the town, when we were in this place, like we thought we were going to die. We thought like it was the death sentence for me. Like I don't know, things didn't work out for them or what. But then Paul says, God showed up for them, and he said God showed up for us, and God showed up for us. And then, not just that part, but then he was also saying he believes that the people who are praying for him, who were praying for them, will continue to pray for them, and things like he believed in the intercessors. So the whole like points that you get from there, like what we got from there, what the our pastor was talking about, was like that Paul, by the end of that time, Paul had trusted God, that it's God who raises the dead. Like his trust in God had grew because God showed up for them in the moment that they thought, oh, we are going to die. God showed up. And the second part was that he trusted the people who were interceding for them. And yeah, so basically it was on these 2 points. And then the pastor kept talking and expanding on these 2 points, on how God shows up. And he even talked about how sometimes you feel like, God, where are you? Like things are not working for me, things are working for other people, and what about me? Things are not working out for me. And then he talked about how in those moments we feel like, God, where are you? But God has a way of showing up in those moments that you feel like this is the end of everything. So even the title of the message was God who raises the dead, or trusting in God who raises the dead, because that's like how the chapter, that's like how Paul was talking to say he trusted God, because as I said, to him he actually felt like they were going to die, because it even says he felt like it was a death sentence for them because of the things that they went through there, but God showed up. Anyhow, so he talked about many things, to be honest guys, like about how God shows up. And to me, all the time when he started talking, even when we just read the words and even those 2 points that he had pointed out, say, okay, for me, I'm getting these points to say Paul ended up trusting God, and he trusted that the intercessor. For me, I was just like, God, this is me. Like that was me, like how God works with me, how he has shown up for me. So it was all about guys, I don't even know how to share it, like how God has showed up for me in the moments that I actually, because to be honest, my whole life I've known rejection, I've known no's and failing in things and all that, but then God shows up. So it's those moments that you feel like, I think I'm dying, like not physically dying, of course I've reached some points of that, but then you reach that point, you say, I think this is the end of this, like there's no way out of this, like God is not showing up. But then at the end of the day, God shows up. We're like, how, God? Like, how did you do that? Like, Jesus, God, you're something else. And then he shows up. So anyway, like, it was a great teaching, but I think to me now it was just overcrowded with my testimony. Like, I have to share this testimony. And I think it was even God, not I think it was God who was pushing me, Yvonne, you have to share this testimony. You're going to encourage someone. Yvonne, you have to share. Like, all the time. Now it was the point, like it was distracting me to even hear further from the what the pastor was preaching, because it was like, you have to share a testimony you have. I was like, God, I have a lot of testimonies and a lot of these things, and you know how sometimes you feel like, ish, I don't know. Anywho, after the pastor has finished preaching, he was like, do you have anyone who has a testimony? I raised my hand, guys. Like, I raised up my hand, I went there. I was like, so I introduced myself. Hi, my name is Yvonne. I'm from Malawi. If you don't know where Malawi is southern central. Do we call it southern east or southern what? But we are on top somewhere there of Africa. On top of southern something. Anyway, who doesn't know where they come from, guys? Yes. Anyway, okay, not that I don't know, but I used to say we are from southern central, but apparently it's not southern central, it's southern something nowadays. But me, when I grew up in school, that's what they used to tell me. Anyhow, so I introduced myself in church, so I'm telling them, my name is Yvonne, and yeah, I come from Malawi. And then I started to introduce. I was like, it's just to have, for you guys to have a background of where I'm coming from and whatever it is. I was born to a teen mom. So my mom was a teenager when she had me. She had to go back to school, and then I had to stay with my grandmother. So like growing up, I'd already started knowing rejection, like where's my dad? What things like that, and no's and all things like that. Anywho, so I'm telling my testimony. So anyway, by now, if you've watched one or two of my videos, you know I talk too much. So I tried to cut it short, which was some kind of hard to do, but I did. And then I'm like, so when I came here 2010, I'd come to further my studies because I came here, they didn't recognize my diploma, so I had to do another diploma in health science, and then I did a bachelor's in health, and then straight away from that, I couldn't get a job, I couldn't get papers. I ended up doing a postgraduate in what? This one makes this car parked in reverse, so I have to reverse. And then, okay, I'm at the house, but I just want to finish this in the car, so everything is in it. But now, okay, so I introduced myself. I started telling them. I was like, by the way, I grew up as a Christian already because I was raised by my grandmother, who was a Presbyterian, like those strong Presbyterians. So even growing up, I'd already known about God. And yeah, you know, those Presbyterian church, you go to Sunday school, you had to memorize the verses and all that. So like I knew who God is. And then after some time, my mom had finished her studies. I started living with my mom, and by then she was a born-again Christian as well. So yeah, and so that was just the background of my testimony as well. But my point was to share my point was to share about what 2 Corinthians chapter number 1 verse 8. We do not want you to be uninformed, brothers and sisters, about the troubles we experienced in the province of Asia. We were under a great pressure, far beyond our ability to endure, so that we despaired of life itself. Indeed, we felt we had received the sentence of death. But this happened that we might not rely on ourselves, but on God who raises the dead. He has delivered us from such a deadly peril, and he will deliver us again. On him we have set our hope that he will continue to deliver us. As you help us by your prayers, then many will give thanks on our behalf for the gracious favor granted us in answer to the prayers of many. I ended up sharing my testimony because while the pastor was teaching, I just said, Yvonne, share. You will encourage someone, and this will be encourage someone because you have enjoyed things as well, and you're enjoying things, and you still trust me, like, you know, I'll show up for you. So I was like, I was feeling somehow because I talk too much like this, guys, but then sometimes, I'm shy somehow, I don't know. But then anyway, I cover it with humor somehow. So I raised my hand, I went, I shared my testimony. I think I'd put the one in the car. Anyway, testimony on how I've had many no's and fails and all that, but God was still there. Like, God showed up for me. Of course, our church is small. Like, as I've said, it's a small community, but not small because it's 150 seats. So yeah, but then it wasn't full. So that's how I say it's small, because most of the time, sometimes it does get full, but like today it wasn't full. So maybe less than 100 people, or 100 maybe, I don't know. But guys, now the other testimony, now is after I've shared the testimony, like, people started coming, say, oh, Yvonne, that was so good, you encouraged us. Even the pastor was happy. I even talked about the other pastor who has assisted me in other things as well. So he was happy. So, oh, I'm happy for you, my child, continue sharing your testimony, it's encouraging. And then my friends, the people that I've made friends with here, they came and said, Yvonne, that was so good, thank you for sharing that. But now the other testimony that just happened, guys, because I'm failing to hold this, guys, as we were talking, because I shared my testimony of all this. I don't know, a guy comes to me and just that slide money in my hands, guys, $200, 200 Australian dollars, like guys, a guy comes and gives me $200, guys. Like, he gives me $200 without saying anything. He just said, I was like, what? Like, yeah, take it. Like, I didn't even go back to talk to him or to ask him. When I looked around, I couldn't see him again. Like, he has gone. Like, so I was telling Emma, I was like, I'm emotional, I want to cry. But that's the thing, like, I don't even know the guy, but I think he comes to church, but I didn't memorize his face. Like, even if I'll see him again, I don't think I'll know it's him. Like, that's how it was. Like, and he didn't even stay to introduce himself or to say hi or anything or what. He just came, looked at me, and I was talking to Emma, because I even had his my back to him. I was sitting up because Emma was sitting down, I was standing up. And then he just comes, looks at me, and gives me the money, and he goes. I was like, oh, thank you. Like, I was now telling Emma, like, I'm feeling emotional, I want to cry. Emma was like, no, that's God. Guys, so anyway, the other now testimony, I think this week was just about testimonies, guys. So I shared my testimony on how God showed up on my work rights here in Australia, because it's a long process, guys. Like, it has been crazy. But anyway, I had a visa that didn't have work rights when I returned, because when I returned back last year, so the visa that I was on didn't have work rights, so I had to apply for work rights. Backstory, I had told God now, like, I was fasting, I was praying, I told God, God, please, if this is not the woman who is supposed to help me with my work rights, please show me and reveal the person who's supposed to help me. Or if it's not another person, if it's me, help me, give me courage, let me do it. So, cut the story short, she showed up the next day with an email telling me, oh, what, and then, but you can do it yourself. She gives me a direct link. I took the link, wrote my application. That was a Thursday night. It was actually Friday morning, early morning, because it was around AM. Friday, Monday, my work rights comes. But then it went to her as well, because now it was Tuesday. That's when she sends me. She's like, oh, your work rights are here. Congratulations. Hey, now she's giving all the information that she wants to help me and do. I was like, okay. But anyway, that's not the story, because that's the other part of that we have to learn. And I'm learning that as well. I'm trying so hard to practice, not take things personal. And anyhow, so what was I saying? God, yeah. So okay, the testimony was about so that week when I was playing and I was waiting for that, I had sat down in church. I was sitting next to this woman, Emma, the one that I'm saying I'm talking in Queensland. She's a nurse, so she's here for a contract work of 5 months, but she's going back anyway. So we sat together, and that day was her first week. So we sat together in church, and we I came in late, so I think it was time of worship, so she was standing up. I just came, sat down, put my Bible down, taking my journal out and my pen, and I prayed, and then I think I stood up as well. And then but what I was in the middle of the service, then she turns around to me and gives me the bookmark. She gives me a bookmark and just keeps quiet. So I was like, okay. So after the service, because I had bought this Bible, I gave I have a video on how excited I was about the Bible. So it's my new Bible that I got, and when I got it, I had the shop that I bought. I bought with bookmarks as well, Bible marks to put. You know how Genesis, Exodus, what are those? Yeah, they could. What are they called? Bookmark? No, bookmark is this one. That one's good. Anyway, I've forgotten them, those tags. But then they said they didn't have a place that I was reading or something. So it has, of course, it has 2 already with the Bible. But then I was like, I need bookmarks. But then apart from that, it's just many things that I've been praying for that I want. So the bookmark, I didn't sit down and say, oh, God, I want bookmarks. But it's those things that I want and I need, and I've been saying it to myself and say, oh, when I go to the shops, I'll try and get bookmarks or what. Anywho, so you guys might find it as a simple thing like even what. Anywho, she gives me this. So after the service, I was like, oh, so we introduced each other after the service, like, after the service, people talk and all that. So I was like, oh, thank you so much. The funny thing is, I actually need bookmarks. I got this new Bible, and I've been needing marks. I'm those people that want to have like a lot of marks in my Bible, because there are those verses that you just want to go back and you don't remember or whatever. I don't know, but I love my bookmarks. It was God. So she, like Emma always says that, she said, that was God. I was like, what do you mean? She's like, it's a ministry in their church, so they make these bookmarks and they pray for them. So the thing is, they get to talk to someone because of that. So like they ask God to direct them who to give it to, so they don't just give to everyone. Like God speaks to them, like they have that confirmation or direction to say, okay, give it to this person, and it strikes up a conversation or just gives that other person hope. So I was like, wow, for me this is hope, it's an answer. She's like, what? Because I was like, because this is God. Because God is talking to me, telling me when I'm here. Like, guys, I was like, this is God. He's saying I'm here, because I've really been wanting the bookmarks. So even now, the issue is not just about the bookmarks, because there are other prayers that I'm really praying for God, that I want him to show up. But then he hasn't showed up yet. So you bringing me this and saying that you felt that you have to give me. So she actually said, I felt that I have to give you this. I was like, that's God. Like, even after, when I was talking, I actually felt it, that was God telling me that, Yvonne, I'm here. I can see you, and I'm hearing what you're talking about, what you're praying for and all that. So it just felt different. So now today, back to what today was about. When that guy gave me the $200, we are talking with Emma, so she was happy as well. But the testimonies, like, even that was so encouraging, because I shared the testimony of how sometimes you feel like, God, where are you? And some people are doing things, you even feel like, these people are not even Christians. How come they're having their answers, and God, you're not answering me, and all what. So like, I encouraged people as well with that, and I said, but God still shows up. He's faithful, like the word. So I was giving like an encouragement to what the pastor had said. So I was saying, just like what the pastor said, like what Paul was talking about, to say, they felt like they are going to die and all that, but God showed up. God is faithful. So like, even me, it was that encouragement. Like, God was telling me, I do show up for you, Yvonne. So it was beautiful. So while that guy gives me the $200, Emma's like, Yvonne, now with this testimony, now I know why I gave you that bookmark. Anyway, I didn't even tell her that I wrote on it. I had to write because this was on the 27th of August. That's when I met Emma. So I said, I got this bookmark from Emma, a visiting nurse at our Kaukuri hospital. She was say for my like just about her, and how for me it was an answer, God saying, I'm here. So anyway, so Emma's like, now I know why I gave you. So guys, the whole end part of all this thing, what do I want to say? God shows up, guys. God is an answering God. And when you have that confidence, that relationship that have that song, you have a track record, God. So like with me and you, God, we have this record that I can look back and say, you still show up for me. So for me, guys, this is my encouragement for this week. My church nugget, to sum it all up, because I talk too much and I end up talking about other things. Sum everything up is about God showing up and God delivering us, God being our Father, and He's an answer. He's all that we need. Like, He'll show up, He'll make everything beautiful at His time. Like, there are still a lot of things that we need each day, or even me, that I'm hoping God for, I'm praying for. But that's the thing, when you have that relationship with God, you have that confidence to say He'll show up. So sometimes, even if it's like crazy, I'm like, I know you answer prayers, I know you show up, but when are you showing up for me? Like, I reach those moments. But that's the thing, when you have that track record with someone, like, I don't think there's anything personal. they're just busy. When they're free, they'll call me. So that's how relationship now I have with him. Like, I know there must be something apart from that. He's working on something, or this is not for me, or whatever, but he shows up, and he does. And when the right time comes, God will show up for you. I just want to encourage you guys to say, God is faithful. He will show up for you. He will answer you. He will deliver you. He will heal you. And even every day, just pray for hope. Have people around you that can pray for you, because that was the other part as well. To say, have people that you can trust to say, I'm going through this. Can you please pray for me? I'm going through this. I need help. Pray for me and help me. Because even that's what Paul was saying. He trusted God, but then he was also talking about the intercessors, how they will keep praying, and if they pray, those people will come and testify and all that thing. So even us as in life, you have to have people around you that you can trust to say, build a community. I used to be a loner person. Like, even after church, I'm one of those people just use, then I'll just go out. The service has finished, even back home my church, even when I was in Perth. But after some time, of course now it has been over some time now, I had to learn to do that, to make relationships with people that I know can help me, to make relationships with people that I know they might not even always be there like Monday to Friday, but somehow if I call them, they'll pick up. They'll know, oh, it's Yvonne. How? Do you need help? Do you need anything? I also want to be that person to people that if they need help, they can call me to say, Yvonne, can you pray with me? Because they know I'll show up, I'll help them. If they know, Yvonne, I need $100, can you give me? Yvonne, I need like Malawi kwacha, like Yvonne, I need 10,000 kwacha, can you help me? If I have, they know I'll show up. I want to be that person as well and answer to people, because even I need people to answer me, because that's how God uses people. God uses other people to be answers to other people. So you have to have people around you as well that can help you pray. Paul talks about that as well a lot. I've realized that I didn't think of, actually it's after today's reading that I've seen in most of the places he was also thanking people. Oh, thanks for praying with me. And now, like, it makes sense as well. Like, I've gotten that version as well. You have to say people. Paul has always talked about other people interceding for him. So it's a good thing, guys. Try to make it a habit to have. I even have, that's the thing, my first video, this is my first video or my second? I think my first video is about Esther's fasting, and I was just talking about, you know the first videos, even the second one, even now I'm still learning, but, so I think it's the second video, the one that doesn't even have good audio, the second video, I think I said, let's chat about intentional friendships, and guys, that video, I think I'll just have to make another one properly. But if you can endure the corrupt audio that is there, try and watch it. And it's a long video. That's when you know you're an amateur. It's even 40 minutes. I don't even know what I was thinking about. But anyway, because I talk too much. So it's like 40 minutes video. But guys, if you watch that, it will help as well to be intentional about making friends. Make connections with people that can show up for you. Make connections, friends, touched bears and all that, so they know Yvonne is there and what. We might not talk every day, we might not do this every day, but they know Yvonne is there and what. At church as well, make new friends. I was trying every day to try. Of course, that is still hard, but then now I'm getting good at it. Like, you stay, talk to people, get to know people and all that, or you already know someone who knows everyone. Make that to make you know other people as well. It's a good thing, because by the end of the day, people even notice you in church. They know, oh, Yvonne. And then if you don't show up for some time, if it's people who care, who really are in Christ, they'll be like, what's happening? Where is Yvonne? What happened? Are you all right? Not like you go around making friends with everyone. No. But that's what I'm saying. People that you know are going to impact your life as well. Like, people who are going to challenge you. That is a good thing as well. People who challenge you spiritually, even in matters of finance, what they are doing career-wise, what they are doing with their families, people that you admire. Say, okay, I aspire to be like this, or to make like money like this, or to be like this in my career, or that or that. And then people who can pray with you. People, oh, this one, she looks like she's on fire. Like, oh, things like that. The whole point, guys, trust God. He shows up. Make people that can pray with you, and you pray with them as well. So I hope this. I'll put a video of my other church nuggets that you can have a listen to and hear and take something. You know how the word of God, that's the good and the beauty of the word of God. Every time you get a different revelation. So you get your own revelation from what I'm saying as well, from what I heard from church as well, or just the other things that I talk about. like today, my testimonies, how they will encourage you. So I'll put my after church nugget here or there, and then down, either way of down, I'll put my cooking videos. Of course, I haven't been cooking much because, as you know, this is my new channel. It's a new channel I've just started as well. So I'll put a link, a playlist about my cooking. Please watch some videos, guys. This will encourage me to do more because I know I'm talking to someone, not talking alone. And comment, share with people that you know this will encourage, or they will like this kind of talks or vlog when I do one, and all that. Subscribe. I think I'll put my subscription with my face somewhere there. Subscribe, guys. Subscribe.